try at Electro Etching. Hi there. Welcome to Mike's Workbench, and I am your host, Michael Giannotti, here in St. Michael's Forge. You can see there's a Michael kind of theme going. So tonight, what we're going to be doing is the following. I have not electro etched yet. I've been dying to try, dying to head down that path. I've got a Cricut now to actually do the vinyl cuts, and I've got just a couple of, I have some more back here, but just some samples. Have not settled on a pattern. So here's a small one. You can see this is on permanent vinyl Cricut, smart vinyl. There's a little bigger one, just initials. And what I'm looking to do is try out a couple of different sizes. I even have a couple of them printed on removable vinyl. All the electro etching I've seen has been on permanent. I had some removable. I figured, what the heck, we'll give it a try after we've done this. But the goal tonight is, one, to get a real etch and make sure that's working. To that end, back there, I have an old, so there's no digital safety or any of that. It's an old battery charger. And I'll be using that. It is, I don't even know which kind is that. Oh, it's a Napa battery charger. I picked it up for like 25 bucks off Craigslist. So we're going to be using that. And the way this is supposed to work, I've seen a lot of people doing it with varying techniques, but it basically follows this outline. And I'm going to have you follow along. We're going to see what works, what doesn't. We're going to take permanent vinyl. We're going to affix it to some steel. So for tonight, for the practice, I may put it on something else, but for right now, I've got some, just some laying around. This is just mild steel, just to try the techniques, make sure it's working. But we've got some mild steel there. And what I'm looking to do is we're going to affix this. So we'll put some removable backing. It's like it almost looks like tape, but we'll be putting that over the surface of it, putting this down, affixing it, making sure, rubbing out the edges, make sure that it's nice, a good seal down on it. Then we'll remove that other tape film. You'll see me doing it. Around that, then we're going to use some electrical tape to further mask it off, because the technique, what I've seen is you put the positive lead from the charger on directly onto the metal of the blade. That attaches there. Then you can either go direct with the, and I'm just going to use the built-in clips, but I've seen folks, take another piece of metal. I certainly could do that, I guess, if I wanted to. But they take that and then they affix, so you can use some felt, or in my case, I'm going to take cotton ball, take a piece off, twirl it up nice and tight, get it into that negative lead. Then we'll dip that into a salt water solution. So I wasn't quite sure, again, on the amount of salt, but what I did was this. I took 3 tablespoons of kosher salt, along with some gray salt, sea salt that my wife had. She's got all kinds of salt. Who knew? And I grabbed that. I heated a mug of water for 2 minutes in the microwave because I wanted to stir and mix easily. Then I poured half the mug, because I want a higher salt solution, concentrate, into this container that I put it in. You'll see that over there. So we're going to dip that cotton lightly and gently in there. Make sure we get off the excess. Then we'll turn it on, the unit on, and we're going to place it for a few seconds, remove, a few seconds, remove on the exposed areas where the metal is exposed. And wherever the metal is, the exposed area, it's supposed to etch down. So with that, you can see, again, I have different size lettering. So I've got St. Michael Forge. My wife hates this lettering. I love it. I don't know. You tell me what you think. And then I have that same lettering even smaller. You can see the difference here, where I could do just the lettering, or lettering with the Jerusalem cross. I'm going to probably go with just lettering, but I figure I already made some of these playing around, so we'll do that. But so I've got 2 different size lettering, and to see what works, right? I saw with the Cricut, doing real fine lettering at small sizes didn't work so well, especially with curves and having that come out clean. So we're going to try a couple of different patterns on this metal. I got plenty of steel to do this on. And then if we have some time, maybe we'll grab a particular dagger that's been languishing forever. My first dagger hasn't been done. Maybe we'll do it into that. So I've been talking for 5 minutes. Let's get to work, and we're gonna step through this step by step. All right, so we're gonna start off with the smallest one first. This is called transfer tape. This is by Cricut. I've seen other people use different brand, there's generic, but this came with the Cricut unit, so we're gonna use that to start with. I'm gonna start with the smallest and most difficult one to begin with. Why not, right? So the idea is I need to cut a piece of transfer tape just slightly bigger than what we have here, right? And then we'll affix that to this face to get it ready to put down onto our steel. So that's gonna be the first step. Once I've done that, then the steel itself, I need to clean that, make sure it's thoroughly clean. So we're gonna take some alcohol and stuff, just make sure we get that surface spotless. We'll have that ready. Then we're gonna set up. Here's my salt water. You can see the solution right here. I still got some salt in the bottom, but I put a lot in here. So we've got that. I'll stir it around a bit. Here's those leads I talked about. There's my battery unit, and I can do 6 volt or 12 volt at 10 amp, right? So we're gonna do the 10 amp, 12 volt. That's the max this will do. And we'll get that all set up. We'll go and do some stop motion until we're ready to actually start, because I don't want to bore you with all that. So let's get moving with that. All right, so I've gone ahead, I cleaned off a section of this. I worked it with cotton until the last one came fairly clean. The idea now is we got to get this thing down. So we're going to affix, I need to take the backing off. I applied the tape. You can see that. Oh, shoot. Yeah. There it is. So tape's on the front, that, what do we call it again? Transfer tape. So now I need to peel the back off very carefully and these glasses, I don't know if you saw, these are new safety glasses I got. They have bifocals in there. I don't know if that, there we go. So that I can actually see some of this stuff. Oh yeah. And so now that's coming very gently. Boom. So there's the backing off. We'll just dump that into our little trash area. And now I want to carefully place this and put just a side down. Then we'll kind of work it out. We don't want to have bubbles under there. It's kind of like when you put a screen on a phone, right? Those protective screens. So I've got that now. So what I need to do is rub it out. We need to have, should have thought of this ahead of time. Yeah, you can see how prepared I am. Well, I guess here we go. I'm a gentleman. I carry a hanky in case a damsel in distress ever needs one. So mostly that would be my wife, make sure, but actually it's for me. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and rub that in really good. And see, I'm able, with that transfer tape on top where the little fine lettering is, I can rub down there really good without worry, because it's protected and held into place. Now that I've done that, the next thing is to go ahead and carefully remove the transfer tape. So I'm going to come out to a corner here. See, I'm tilting my head a bit to get those bifocals. I'm just going to very gingerly pull this tape off. Oh, look at that. Just comes so nice and clean. And there we go. Dump that. So here we go. There is our piece. I didn't try to make it all straight. This is all just trial and error to see how things are going. Next thing is I want to mask around it, because remember I said wherever the liquid is, because the current's conducting through that, it's going to etch. So we don't want to etch around the edges of this piece. So what we're going to do is, to make sure I've got a really nice seal around it, I got some electrical tape. And we're going to do some segments with that. Let's go ahead and make one cut. And bring that out here. Overlap it. There we go. Just make sure that's down nice and good. Beautiful. All right. Let's do another one. Gonna bring this all around it to protect that. I could, I also brought, just for extra measure, some real nice wide painter's tape that I could use on the outside. And when I do this on a knife, just to be extra careful, I'll probably do that as well. But for this, what I'm doing here, I should be fine. So let's go ahead. And also the thing with this whole image here is pretty small. So that affords me the ability to be able, in this case, to not have to spend as much time working around. I've seen guys doing stuff with larger. Certainly I want to do that, but there we go. And one more. Sorry, this is so painstaking. I just want to go through it because I've gotten hit up by a bunch of people wanting to try this. So I figure, hey, I'll go through and let's see if it's really as easy as I have seen. So I've been watching videos from a whole bunch of folks, Gentry Custom Knives, Bonifab Custom, Redbeard Ops, and watched them and rewatched them, and everybody does stuff a little bit different. But again, the biggest thing is you got to conduct the electricity, right? So let's go ahead. I'm going to move this alcohol away from the electricity. I don't know that it would matter either way, but there we go. And we're going to take, in this case, so we got the positive and the negative, right? That's right? And they're not marked. It should be, the red should be the hot wire. So we're gonna go ahead, hook that directly up to the metal. There we go. So we got that hooked. And here now, we're gonna take a piece of cotton. So you see I have a whole undone ball here. I don't need a whole lot of this. We're gonna kind of roll that up nice and tight. All right. Get that here. So the idea is we're going to take this, get it wet, right, in our solution. Just and blot out some of that excess. There we go. So we've got that going. And now the big step is we're going to plug this baby in. So let's go ahead and do so. So it's humming. It's running at 12 volts with 10. The amps are what are important. I wish I had a higher amp one, like a 50. I've been looking at some of the train set stuff, but that's even less. So now the idea is we just want to take this and let's go put it on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we want to come up. We don't want to stay down too long because we could bubble up and get rid, mess up the vinyl. So let's do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just doing the lettering here to start with. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I can see a bubble in there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bubbling up, baby. Wow, that's pretty cool. And I'll do some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, I sound repetitious, but one of the things to keep in mind is when you're doing this on a blade, this is, it's bubbling up. That means it's generating some heat here, right? So one, I want to be careful of the, the actual vinyl to make sure that that's okay. You can see it's turning nice and it's got a black, that's from the vinyl. But the other thing is, you don't want to take any tempering out of the blade and stuff because you're going to do this, near the end of your
project. So just gonna keep holding it there for a bit. There we go. Do some more. I want to make sure I get a good etch. I really don't know how long I'm supposed to do with this. So this is all by first try. I just feeling my way. Take it off, let it cool. Do it again. There we go. And I do believe I see an etch formed in there, but I want to do some more just to make sure. Let's go ahead. Hold that. Nice. Let's do the other part of lettering. And notice I'm not moving it when it's on it. I just bring it straight down and then on, because I don't want to mess again with that vinyl, wrist moving it around. So go ahead, place this again. Also, I made sure I didn't have a lot of excess moisture. It looks like I don't need it. I mean, it's bubbling up quite nicely. So I'm gonna turn that off, unplug it for just a second. I want to get just a bit more. Swirl that around. Kind of shake off some of that excess. There we go. Plug that baby in again. And I'm going for the deep etch. All right. So one thing I can see is doing it this way instead of having this holding some kind of metal object and stuff. I lose a little bit of surface, but I'm getting, depending on how wide I want to get this, how much surface area I want to cover at a time, I might want to look at a number of the people I've seen do it use felt. I'm going to just, and there we go. I was worried that was vinyl, but no, that was just metal. So it's interesting, like I go out to the side here to make sure I'm getting those little crosses in the pattern, and very little bubbling, as with the lettering, because most of what I'm hitting is vinyl. When I go to the center, though, of that cross, of the Jerusalem cross, I'm hitting a lot more metal, so I get a lot more of a bubbling effect. So we're going to go ahead and just wipe it. Yeah, I saw people dipping it in. I guess as long as you're not making contact with it. There we go. This is beautiful. If it's working like I think it is, I mean, it's bubbling like I've seen in people's videos, so I'm going to say we're going to have a victory here. How good it'll look when I'm done. All right, so we're going to call it. Again, I don't know how long we're supposed to do it for. Let's go ahead, wipe that clean. Take the contacts off. See how the bar's not too bad. Let's take the tape off. There's the tape. The vinyl, just so you can see, it still looks like, intact. And now, and as I get out there, definitely a lot hotter, right? So, yeah, oh yeah. So, let's clean that off. That came out flipping great. Okay, I'm very excited. I don't know if you're able to see that there. Now, Yeah. There we go. Look at that. So there's my first etch. Wow. I am excited. First etch. Da, 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 da. That is awesome. So there we go. All right, so that first etch, again, these glasses, Walmart, they had different strength. I'm getting old, little bifocal in there. It helps me. I was like able to go and look down and say, ooh, and see real clear up close, where normally I'm blurry. But so there we go. So that did a great job. I am very excited. Again, let's just take a look there. There you go. You can see it even better now in this light. First etch, it came out nice. I didn't take too much time. You could definitely feel and see when you look in it, that difference. What would be really neat is right now I'm using, with the amps, I forget if it's, if this is AC or DC. One of the two, 6 volt, 10 amp. At any rate, there's a way you change the polarity. Not on this. This unit doesn't have that capability. But I saw on those train station units, I still might get one and just set it up for the opposite of this. I have to look it up. But then you could do another pass once you've done your etching, and it will actually blacken it, which just very cool, right? So then you got a permanent blacking without having to go in and try to use a paintbrush or anything, or you can just leave it like this. But I would really like that to really let it pop. So I'm very excited. I started with the hardest first, and it worked. I'm going to call it a win. And now I'm just going to worry about lettering, because the lettering on this is very small, and it worked. And this is small enough too. I can actually, I think on just about, let's get the smallest knife size. So this is about the thinnest I would ever make. Right, one of these daggers. And as I'm looking at it, if I did that over the center, yeah, no problem. So I could actually do that like in the base here, have it like that instead of that way, have it like that, and it would easily fit. And I'm never gonna do a knife smaller than that. Well, I do have a couple of those scalpel knives. Let's take a look at that. And if I go, yeah, same thing. So it covers it fully. So I could do that even on something, you know, shaped like this. I'm just rambling because I'm so excited. It's my first etching. Folks, this works, and it works incredibly detailed good. I know some of you are laughing because you do that. But man, what a much better way than me trying to stamp it with my coin-like piece. I'll save that for tools and some other things. But this is flipping awesome. So, you know, I could do that on any steel that I'm using. As long as you prepare it, make sure that steel is clean. Oh, it started raining outside. We needed it. It was 98 and super humid today. Yeah, as long as you make sure the steel is really clean. Again, you put the positive to the steel direct. The negative is what you use to hold your, it could be in this case I had cotton. It could be, I saw some people use a steel rod, so, and then they use electric tape as the insulator so they can hold it. So it's almost like a pencil. And then at the end of that steel rod, they just fix, you know, some felt directly, and then just secure it on, and then it gives them kind of a whole different. I think I like what I'm doing right here. That was super simple, and it just works. So there we go. In the books, I need to find a blade to do this with. Dagnabbit. I got to find that other. Yeah, we're gonna do a blade tonight. So here we go. All right, I said I'm gonna do a blade. The blade I want, that test one that it's the first dagger I ever tried, that's not finished, but that I did the stone wash on. I can't find it anywhere, which is no surprise because it's a big mess here. Speaking of which, Friday they break ground to finally do the extension in the back of this thing so I can get a lot of all the non-forged stuff out of here and actually spread out and be organized. But yeah, I don't know where that blade's at.
I'm sure it'll turn up. So I grabbed a real old one I did, not very good one, but there it is, kind of a, I don't know, Arkansas toothpicky design. But I placed this on. This one I did a little straighter. That's going to take some work. And I'm not going to, I don't think, do things this big, but I had this one sitting there. So again, just point of comparison. That's not it. Where's that piece of steel? Here we go. So just so you can see, so there is the one that I did. Came out outstanding, very tiny. And then you can see this is on orders of magnitude bigger. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna quick do that. I just wanna see it on a blade. You got it, right? So let's go ahead, get started with this. We'll do the stop motion hyperlapse for this portion. All right, so I did, again, this is an old knife. It's not a pretty knife. It was one I did, quite a while ago, but got the job done. So I wanted to test it. I took that bigger one. You can see it etched it out really nice. Now I could take a paintbrush and use some of my, blackening solution or bluing and paint in there, I guess, if I wanted. What I really want to do, though, would have been great if I could have then, at the ending point of that, taken the opposite current, run it through, which would have blackened that whole thing and really made it pop. But hey, there we go. So I went from that, and I can't believe I didn't bring it over with me. Just to take one last look at the difference. Now I just got to pick lettering. Mrs. G definitely hates the lettering on this one, which I actually like. So you can see there's that one. Again, very small. I didn't try to make it straight. And you can see the size difference in those. All right, there's that. And then there's that little one, right? But that tells me I can get down nice, really nice small letters. I just want to do simple lettering on here for St. Michael's Forge. So now I got to pick out some lettering. I might have to go to PowerPoint or another application and then import that into my Cricut software. The Cricut software was limited. It had some pretty cool stuff, but I don't think it's made to go that small with some of the fine old world stuff. So when I did the cuts, it didn't come out the way I wanted. They weren't clean. And so, I needed clean. This lettering did great for that and for that size. I mean, I could just, I could take that little SMF with that lettering, straighten it, and it would rock. But hey, first two Electro etches are in the books. I'm very happy. So with that, here in St. Michael's Forge, I'm going to quit yapping and going on. I'm super stoked. I hope you're going to give this a try. All you need an old charger, not a digital, right? So if you can pick up an old one off of Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, or wherever, like I said, I got that for 25 bucks and it works perfect. You don't want a digital though, because they auto shut off. So when you're doing that with the liquid and stuff, it's going to and stop. That will just keep cranking. That is 10 amps. So at the higher voltage, I got it 10 amps. That's a good amount. I've seen people build stuff. Redbeard Ops has one. I'm building his own unit. Bonafide Custom, he has a charger, like I've got an old charger. I've seen all kinds of patterns. Just, look around. There's a bunch of them on YouTube. Just look up Electro etch knives. But really the three that I've looked at over and over and over again, Bonafide Custom, Redbeard Ops, and Gentry Custom Knives. Although Gentry is using a laser now. That's so sweet. So, and then you can get really crazy. But that's it. You need that. You need some cotton, some cleaning, follow the steps that I did, and you should be great to go. So this is Mike Giannotti here in St. Michael's Forge, bidding you have a great night. Take care, and as always, ciao.